What's up, guys? This is Maxwell Media Inc. I'm your host, Maxwell, and today we are back for another episode of Queer Coded. This episode is gonna be really heavy, so I'll do some trigger warnings for homophobia, fat phobia, ace phobia, misogyny, yeah, all of those this episode. We'll be talking about those things variously throughout the episode, but you can probably tell from the title of the video and the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about James Somerton. Also, trigger warning for self-harm as well. Yeah. I wanted this. This is a very emotional conversation for so many reasons. So I want to do my best to be organized and thorough. So I made a little outline, and we're going to do our best to stay on the outline. First things first, I wanted to pretty much state what happened, because maybe you're like, what the fuck is even going on? So, a couple weeks ago, the YouTuber H Bomber guy made a video about plagiarism on YouTube, and pretty much most of the video was detailing about how a YouTuber by the name of James Somerton was a serial plagiarist, and I'm going to link that video in the description. You can go check that out. You could watch that first if you need to. He very thoroughly goes into every lie, and most of the plagiarism that James has done, I mean, just walls and walls of copy-pasted text, stealing other people's videos, stealing other people's ideas, not crediting them, passing the work off as his own. There was also the fact that he started this production company, Telos, and he raised a lot of money for it, and it appears that there was never any real effort or attempt to make any movies with the money, and people are saying it's a scam. So, yeah, that is a lot. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Al, do you want to take the floor, explain your sort of connection to this?
So hi. Hope y'all are doing okay and having a good day. I'm certainly not with this whole James Somerton nonsense. But I'll just start off by saying I have been a patron and am a former admirer of James Somerton. I just earnestly despise the man and everything he has ever done. And I actually was someone who invested in Telos. I actually became decent friends, I would say, with James's co-writer Nick Hergott, and so I have a degree of personal investment in the situation because Nick and I became very close. We would even talk about his book. He would share headcanons, and I even briefly wrote a little fan fictions in between the main character's father and the main character's mentor, but I put that aside when Nick told me that the main character's mentor is actually aromantic. So I was just like, oh, okay, well then I guess this isn't a thing. But it I just sort of put the kibosh on that, and I would say that I am very upset about just the fact I donated money, the fact I feel severely manipulated and deceived because I feel this is a thing that's been talked about but maybe not centered as much in the conversation, but James profoundly used and deceived and manipulated people's feeling of marginalization and lack of representation across various the LGBT spectrum, because he promised representations of female survivors with that whole Final Girl thing. He promised a gay representation. He promised asexual representation, and like he was promising a lot, because he knows there is a huge like gap in representation in mainstream media, and like he loved to like make himself out like, oh, I am the lifter up of voices, and like, but he never, like he never really cared about anything except for feeding his own ego. That's just, yeah. And so I just utterly despise him for all of it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry you experienced that. Um, First things first, let's talk about the plagiarism. Um, so, do you want to just go first on this? Like, how do you feel about the fact that he ripped off so many other queer writers and just passed the shit off as his own?
I think it's evil. I think it is not only hypocritical, it's like like people are calling him the villain of the day, the villain of the week. Like I feel like we need a stronger word than villain. Because he's just, what he did is so devious and like because this is like people, like there were people who like he stole from, who were working for no money at all, just for exposure, and he knew that. He knew that, and like in so many ways, and like put no effort, zero effort into like actually like. And the thing is, it's not hard to source someone. It's not hard to credit someone. And like, is it really that hard to just, you know, attach like put a little thing at the bottom of the essay with like links and names and like and references? Like it's really not even that hard. You just like, if you want to quote someone, just put in quotation marks and then put the little like colons or like on like with the names next to it. So you have this frame of reference, okay? Like there's many ways to source something, even just remotely properly, and he'd put no effort into that whatsoever. And like, again, I think the thing that like H Bomber Guy like touched on this a bit in his video, where he said we have no way of knowing how much he actually plagiarized. He's like, we know it's a lot, but we'll never know just how much of a lot it is, because he was able to identify 18 different writers in just one video that he ripped off. But then the question remains of like, did he rip off anything from like other sources they haven't been able to find? And it could be from anything. It could be from other articles that were taken down, private conversations, Discord conversations, tweets, blog posts. We don't know, and that's just like the sheer veracity of it, and the fact that he always talked about like queer voices being lost. And he was doing exactly that. Like he was making it that like so many queer voices were being lost. Were being like just further thrown into the void and overlooked, not credited, not paid, not compensated, not recognized. That's reprehensible.
Yeah, and I for the longest time, my biggest question was why do this? Why lie about so much, and why steal? Why steal when you don't have to? And it's like so many people have very similar ideas in the bread tube lane anyway. We all tend to have pretty similar ideas about things. So I don't understand why couldn't you just write things yourself? And I think he admitted it last night in the quote unquote apology video. He was like, I was lazy. And I think it was more than just laziness though, because it was the fact that he copy pasted pages and pages and paragraphs. So he actually had to go through and look at the shit first and then be like, ooh, I like this, I like this, I like that, and then take it. So it's more than just laziness, because you do have a work ethic. You're really good at stealing and lying. And I think that Jesse Gender called out an aspect of him that I feel like a lot of us did not notice before, where he always talks about, like, I will be the voice of the voiceless, and I want to be the one that y'all look to, and I want to be the one that, you know, you go to. And last night he said, I want to be the one that y'all think of when you think of accurately sourced, you know.
I literally cackled when he said that. I was like,
yeah. Yeah, and it's like he wants to be this like messiah figure for the queer community on YouTube. And I think part of that comes from, and you know, this could be me pulling something out of my ass, but there are videos that I watched where I wondered if it was plagiarized, where he talked about, you know, I think in the gay body image video he talked about, oh, I always used to be the fat kid, and I was always, you know, I tried this pill and that pill and this diet and that diet and da da da. Or like in the gay crime video, he talked about how he grew up poor and his mom struggled to put food on the table and da 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 da. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if it is true, I feel like being so othered or whatever, and never being the attractive one, never being the cool one, never being the one that people really wanted to look up to, I think being this like YouTube messiah figure was the only way for him to truly feel special, for him to truly feel important, for him to truly feel like he mattered, per se. And I feel like when it all came crashing down, that's why he nuked everything, and that's why he said goodbye, and that's why he probably tried to do what he tried to do. And while that is on some level very pitiable, it does not excuse the malicious, disgusting, vile behavior that he exhibited. Because not only did you steal from queer writers, you stole from queer people who were so small, and you picked that on purpose. Because like the thing, because he stole from bigger authors and bigger works too. But he at least mentioned them. He was like, oh, such and such said this. And, you know, he would go on and say whatever they said. But the smaller creators, he felt like he could get away with it because they were small. Because they weren't big names, so nobody would fucking notice. You know? And it's like you're literally erasing those people from history. And you're just saying, oh, it was me. I said it. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one. And I just think that's awful. That's fucking awful. And then to say, oh, there's no plagiarism because I don't write a lot of those videos. It's Nick writing them. And Nick is the one who's Nick is my co-writer, and he writes most of the videos. So there is no plagiarism. And it's like, that makes me wonder about, it made me wonder about Nick for a long time. And to be frank, I still wonder about how much his co-writer knew or didn't know. I know that Al is friends with him, and they've talked and they've spoken. I'm not gonna ask you to say what you guys have talked about. You know, that's your own business. And I also won't ask you to defend him. And I know you have your opinion about what you think happened. For me, I'm just sort of still mixed, because I can see so many possibilities. I can see him being in on it, but I can also see that, like, these guys, they didn't just know each other online. Like, they were best friends. Like, they lived together for 7 years. Like, he could have been just so close to the situation that he just took whatever James said as gospel, as at face value, and just didn't check on anything. But it just, that's still real gross negligence, because it's like you're making these videos together, you know, and it's just like, James last night, he was like, so it's not all plagiarized, some of it is original work and some of it is and it's like, he said some of it is in my own words, and it's like, well, what is in your own words? Like, give me something that's in your own words. I think the stuff that's not plagiarized, I think that's Nick. I think that's all Nick. I think the few videos, the few things that are actually like not copied or stolen from someone, either they are stolen and we don't know from who, or they're just Nick's words. So I don't know where the truth lies on that. There are a lot of things I can speculate. There are a lot of things I could imagine, and quite frankly, maybe I'll never know. But it's a big mystery, and I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go from there.
Like, the thing is, yeah, for me at least, there's just so much that, like, I have my own opinions about what happened, and like who I think is really the one. Like we know for certain that James was like deceiving people, like 100%. I don't believe Nick, like, because, like, again, like, you being in real life, if like we have like being online, you know, there's a certain level of distance even with people you're really close with, but when you're like best friends with someone, you're gonna listen to your or like the person in real life instead of like the little voices in your phone, because like what is the little voices in your phone in comparison to someone who's sitting right next to you? And I think it is very easy to get gaslit and deceived and made to go along with something, especially like in comparison to a real life friend versus an online space. And like, again, I know like Nick as well, like, was very anxious, like he did publicly talk about this in like his early state of denial about the whole James situation, because he was definitely in denial for a degree, because it, again, the idea that his best friend in real life had profoundly betrayed him and set him up like that is a very difficult pill to swallow, and I feel like not enough people have really given him a degree of empathy for that, or at least like really floated like how deep that can actually be as a betrayal. But it's really like it's a deep cut, and I can just imagine that's like I've been screwed over by people I was very close with in my business relations. I once had like someone I worked with like withhold about 10 weeks worth of pay, and which like equivalent like thousands of dollars from me, and I no longer speak to her because of that. And she did other things, but like, you know, like, this was a woman I would go on I would go on car rides to, like, in our business, and work with her, and someone I trusted and went to for advice. So like when she did like betray me like that and even badmouth me to our boss, that was it really hurt. It really, really hurt, because you think, you know, like you look someone in the eye, you see someone like, and you think that they're going to be, at least like maybe in comparison to online, more upfront, more like that they will treat you better because they like you are right in front of them. But I don't like, we have to understand that's not always going to be true, and like, again, I do think the like Nick, like in this whole situation, there was a high degree of negligence, like especially considering when you look at how like again, one video, 18 authors, just what they were able to pick up, that is a lot. That is an extremely large amount of,
that's a gross amount.
It is, and like, I still think it was negligence, and in no way purposeful, but at the same time, though, it is really disappointing. And like he should have been like done some more research. He should have probably like looked into this stuff more deeply. But he didn't. He trusted his friend, and I think he has paid for it. And is probably still paying for it, and probably will continue to be paying for it in a lot of ways going into the future. her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry for that, and I wish things were different, and I wish I could personally put all of my doubts aside. I kind of can't. I don't know. It's just it's so it's it's been going on for so long. It's just I don't know. It's big, but regardless, I don't think that. I think that James for sure is the main perpetrator of it. So I don't want to ever see him come back, and I hope that once the dust settles, Nick can recover from this.
Yeah, I hope so, because like the thing is, Nick actually had creative ideas, and like he did write a whole book. He did actually seem to really be interested in, and also like Nick is like non-binary and on the A spectrum. Like they do deserve like that understanding and that empathy, in that they are not a cis male, like in the same way James is like I think he genuinely had like just like I don't know, just like in the sheer birth of it. Like I feel like this is like in contrast Nick to like James had no creative ideas. Everything he like was just ripping someone else off, and I don't understand where that kind of laziness comes from. Like, how do you not have your own ideas? Like, how do you not have just some form of thought besides apparently like just all these weird like phobic bullshit, nasty stuff he thinks about I mean, like there are certain nuances, I do believe, like I do think there were certain things in the video, or that people are like kind of going in at the not quite the right angle I think that they should be, but we will get into that.
You know what? Let's just do that right now. Let's talk about the sexism allegations. Do you want to start that off?
Okay, so I like H Bomber. Like I was surprised when like in the H Bomber guy's video when he brought up the misogyny stuff, and I just from what I saw, I was like, you know what? I didn't catch this, but I kind of agree. He was making a certain strong point about the fact that like James was like saying women are into Jeffrey Dahmer because he didn't hurt women, but then it is hypocritical for him to then list Ted Bundy. And again, women were hyper obsessed about Ted Bundy, so there is a degree of hypocrisy there. I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm not like, did James like address the fact that there were queer people thirsting after Jeffrey Dahmer too? Like I don't, like I can't go back and check because he took the video.
I can't go back to the video to check, but I do remember him talking about gay men thirsting over Jeffrey Dahmer when the Jeffrey Dahmer pic came out. And I don't know. The thing with the misogyny, like, I can definitely see where H. Bomber Guy was coming from, and there were points on it that I definitely do agree about that. I just also feel like for example, this is a great example of the misogyny. Jesse Gender spoke about how he said that there were no queer creators on Nebula. But Jesse Gender's on Nebula, Princess Weeks is on Nebula, Kat Black is on Nebula, Abigail Thorne is on Nebula. All these different queer women are on Nebula making content, cis and trans. And it's James just completely did not acknowledge them at all, which is kind of on brand now. And it's just like, you just gonna completely ignore all these queer women doing it on Nebula? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, why was he just so dismissive of Princess Weeks, and Jesse, because they were doing a lot of really great work and a lot of profound, meaningful stuff, and Princess Weeks really stuck her neck out very often on very important issues. Who's I really appreciated that she came forward and was defending Amber Heard very publicly during that whole instance. And she was
Mother was eating on that, yeah.
I really appreciated and admired that, because I'm like anyone who's like was supporting Johnny Depp in that situation, like he was twice her age. He the idea that she could groom him and like all that like arguments. I'm like, that's nonsense. That is nonsense. And especially when you like look into his history, like what he did to Winona Ryder, or like going after her when she was a teenager, or the fact that like Johnny once went with Marilyn Manson, another very heavily scrutinized like abuser, like to Evan Rachel Wood. Like they went searching for Hitler's. Why are you looking for Nazi memorabilia? Why are you searching around for Hitler's gun? Like that's the thing that has me like, what? Like there's some there. I don't want to get too into and distracted by all that, but like these women are doing a lot of really important and thoughtful work. Because that is really great. Like I love like all Princess Week's content. I still go back and watch her House of the Dragon commentary stuff sometimes, because I really love how she talks about that, and House of the Dragon is also my special interest. But it's very weird. Like at the time in my head, I justified it as like, okay, he's talking more about like maybe videos that center specifically on queer history, because that was like a thing, at least in his videos, which he was ripping off, like what that he was heavily centering on. And I think a lot of the other people were centering on more like modern issues, which understandable and important to talk about. You know, but I think that's why James kind of got away with that, or like kind of tricked other people into sort of being more on the sidelines or siding with him in that situation. In like, when I heard that the whole fighting that was going on, but I was like, I don't really know what to do here, and like maybe that was negligence on my part, or like because I didn't know where to come from, like on that whole thing. Now I'm just like, well, Jesse and Princess were right. Like they were right to call him on his shit. And Jesse, like, and the thing is, Jesse has always like tried very hard. Like you can see she's not in this to build up her own ego. She is doing this because she just wants to like be a good person. She wants to uplift people's voices. And Princess does this, like, in Cap, like I think all of these women really do want that. And I think like Nick does as well. But James, for him, it was all about him, his ego, and he just did not. And like he absolutely was misogynistic in like how he dismissed these women's voices. But there was something about H-Bomber Guy's like points in like about the Jeffrey Dahmer video that did sort of like make me think about a little bit. And something that did bother me was like when we were just like when he was discussing the Jeffrey Dahmer and like the Ted Bundy stuff and the misogyny stuff, and like about him hating on like saying, oh, women are thirsting over like I'm like, that did happen. Like but like again, gay people did that too. We are not absolved. Like there is just a problem. Like the true crime obsessed people are a problem. But like I don't know. Like when like I have a degree of a personal connection. I don't want to overinflate because but my mother, I was raised on my mother's stories of losing a friend to Ted Bundy. Like a very good friend of hers from high school who she even worked for this girl's father. At like I don't want to say the type of restaurant he owned, because I don't want to like I'm like, James, do you think I should no Maxwell, sorry, I'm just
not you calling
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I am personally offended that you would even conflate the two.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of names here. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm just talking to you.
That one hurt. That hurt.
I'm sorry. Stone me. Throw me out the window. I'm sorry. But
I will for that, because that was so rude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Maxwell, do you, like, it's just. Do you think I should like say the name of like the victim? If you're
comfortable doing that, only if you're comfortable.
But the thing is, it's not just about my comfort. I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. Like this has been years, and I don't even think her family, her father, like is still alive, Eve, at this point. But I will just say, well, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be honest. Like her name, I feel like it is important to say her name. Lisa Levy. Lisa Levy was my mother's friend, and she was actually Ted Bundy's last victim. She was killed in her sorority house, and I don't have it in me to talk about the detail. Like, I don't think anyone listening wants to hear about those details. Like, she was a very kind, sweet, like, girl. My mother always sang this girl's praises. And like, I still remember when the Ted Bundy thing came out, and my mother like was so disgusted seeing it come out, and like she was queasy, and like my mother is not someone who gets unsettled by things, but like this was something that really hurt her to her soul. Well, because like again, I feel like we don't like grasp just like how like this, like Ted Bundy was like a misogynistic serial killer who like committed mass violence acts against like all these women. And I do think there is a degree of misogyny that comes from the people who celebrate Ted Bundy. And like, I'll even also say this, like people who are like thirsting over Jeffrey Dahmer, like other gay people, like are also feeding into homophobia. Like, I think, like, yeah, I'm saying gay people feeding into homophobia. I think because like I'm like, if you are actually an ally to gay people and to women, and you would just recognize these people are not like it's disrespectful to the victims, to the people who were butchered and murdered, to like and so that was like kind of like a thing. Like, I'm like, are we really kind of like saying it's misogynistic to think it's like, maybe this is just a misinterpretation, or maybe I'm reading the like what I don't think H Bomber Guy like meant it that way, but it was something that just kind of made me feel like I don't feel like quite the appropriate angle on this subject matter is being brought into it from H Bomber Guy. I don't think James really did either. That was like one of my lesser favorite videos from him. Like just like back when he released it. I also hated his Attack on Titan video. But that was just but yeah, that's at least my like how do you feel about that, Max?
I was mixed. On one hand, like, I do understand the misogyny aspect of it, but I felt like some things I think that I wish that H Bomber Guy did a better job discerning between James's personal misogyny and then the ideas that James stole. Because if we're critiquing James' ideas, we have to understand that, like, these are not his ideas. These are some other poor gay man's, living or dead's, ideas that we're talking about and engaging with. And one example I specifically want to talk about is when he was talking about Becky Albertalli. Essentially, the faux pas was, he was talking about straight women, like taking advantage of gay men, the gay best friend, gay women seeing, not gay women, straight women seeing gay men as disposable, talking about essentially how straight women get all this money and success about queer stories. What about queer men? Why can't we, be successful talking about our own stories? Also talking about queer women fetishizing gay men stories, And, Becky Albertalli, she's faced a lot of hate and harassment, and that is wrong, and that is fucked up. And, she actually came out as bisexual to quell all this harassment, because she's like, I'm not this straight woman just trying to profit off gay men. I actually am bisexual. And, like, and James didn't even bother to look that shit up. And then lumping her in with straight women trying to profit off that, like, that's so fucked up. Like, fuck you, James. At the same time, it's like, that is still an issue. And you could say, well, oh, you can't really assume anyone's sexuality. But my counter to that is, grow up. We live in a society. Like, unfortunately, you are kind of presumed to be cishet until not. Is that right? No. But that's just sort of the society that we live in. And it's whether it applied to Becky or not, still the idea that straight women don't value gay men or fetishize gay men, or that straight women writers get more success in writing queer couples than gay men do, that's still a thing. And it's first of all, it's far from being James's idea. That so many other queer people, gay men, and even women have talked about this before. So to dismiss that and to be like, bro, go get some therapy, I feel like that's a little bit of a blind spot on H Bomber Guy's part, because I know H Bomber Guy was like, well, I'm bisexual too, so this isn't about me tearing down a gay man. But, and this is not to use this against him, but H Bomber Guy came out a couple of years ago. He only came out a couple of years ago as bisexual. And I'm not saying that makes him any less valid as a queer person, but what I am saying is it makes his lived experience different. He did not grow up, quote unquote, the gay kid. I'm making an assumption. Maybe he was picked on in high school and everybody knew that he was gay before he did. I don't know. But I'm making the assumption that he grew up being perceived straight and cishet. So he did not grow up the gay kid. He was not bullied. That just was not his experience. It just wasn't. So when you do grow up the gay kid, when you do grow up being someone's GBF, you just have certain experiences and traumas that come with that. And voicing those experiences or having frustrations with those experiences does not make you misogynistic inherently. It does not make you anti-women inherently. It just means that you have an experience and you need to talk about it. And I feel like H Bomber Guy kind of has that blind spot, and it kind of made him overlook that sort of area or point, you know?
I feel that, like, the thing is, like, because, like even just, like, he put, like, so in that part where he said, like, that it was a personal anecdote from James about like the whole thing with like treated like a purse, or like, the thing is though, I've heard that exact same metaphor or used by various different gay men when talking about the whole gay best friend or GBIF problem. So like, the thing is, like, is that really? And also, like, the thing is, we know that James stole a bunch of different things from a bunch of different people, and H. Bomber Guy also admits in the video, he's like, we have, this could just be the tip of the iceberg. He could have, like, stolen from all these other like, there's so much plagiarism, like, there could be way more that we just haven't been able to identify. And I'm like, okay, so how do we know that that part, like, in the middle of those other two quotes wasn't also stolen? And, like, how do we know that that is specifically a personal anecdote he added in and wasn't something he, like, took from someone else, well, to have that feeling, like again.
Hey, alright. Yeah, so go ahead.
Like, we don't know. I was just gonna say, we don't know the like specifically that anecdote is from James himself. It could be from another gay man, or even echoed from other, like I still think about the movie GBIF, like the entire concept of, like, what James is saying there, like, they made an entire movie about it, and we've seen representations of this trope and this problem, like, be discussed in a lot of different gay media over the years. Like, maybe you can make an argument it's a bit oversaturated, and maybe it has gone to a point of being a little bit misogynistic in certain points. It's because, like, I do think there is the evaluation of what do, like, gay men and straight women who are friends specifically owe to each other in a social in a social dynamic. Like, especially in the differences in our marginalization, like, what do we owe to each other? Or, that's just a question that like, it's a much bigger thing than I can simply answer in this topic of conversation.
Yeah, and, you know, and I'm also, just to add, the inverse has also been talked about at length. I mean, I think a lot of times people don't think that gay men can be misogynistic, but they can and often are. I mean, just look at somebody like Andy Cohen. someone who's made a career off of women and, sort of this brand of misogyny where it's like, your hair, your shoes, your nails, your this. Like, it's not giving. And it's like a way to critique women in a way that comes off non-threatening, but like is almost just as insidious. So it's like we as a culture are aware that gay men can be misogynistic, but that doesn't make the harm that is perpetrated onto them with these, gay man to straight women relationships any less harmful or impactful.
Exactly, and I want to like, the thing is, my best friend is a straight woman, and like she has been there for me, like literally like saved my life, taking care of me when there was a gas leak in my apartment, and like she like there is a like and I would say like it's almost because we do bond over like the frustrations with men and do have an intersection of feeling marginalized and being marginalized in many ways, but it like at the same time, I think the reason my relationship with my friend works so well is because she recognizes I come from outside that her experience and she comes from outside mine, and like she just wants someone to listen and understand and comfort her because like through the stuff she suffered, just as I want someone to understand and like understand, because we've been there for each other in some of our most traumatic and horrible moments, and supported each other through some of the darkest thing, and like so there is like something meaningful to that there can be something meaningful and thoughtful and like true to that dynamic. Because I honestly think like in most circumstances you grow out of it, like usually by high school I did have like one or two like GBIF kind of like manipulative relationships, but in those cases those girls were mistreatful of other like women. In fact, like my best friend that I'm currently best friends with now, we met through another girl, and that girl ended up like really forking both of us over really badly. Like she still hasn't returned like the money from like her dog shitting all over her comforter, or like when she just it's a whole story, but it's just like so yeah, there definitely is like there's misogyny from gay men, there absolutely is, but I also feel like like we have to like sort of like look at things from like not forget that like women can be homophobic. Okay, like these are both two different systems of oppression that are part of patriarchy, and neither of which we are free of. And I don't think we're really going to get anywhere if we suddenly start saying neither can do either. Because like again, both marginalization, like honestly, again, I said this earlier, queer people can be homophobic, like women can be misogynistic, like there can be like both going on. And
I also
so,
think you have
like,
to keep in mind that when we're talking about these things, while both are true, let's not bring up the other one to deflect. Like, I feel like oftentimes, like, when we're talking about, like, homophobia that women do, and then someone's like, but, like, misogyny, though, and while, yes, that's a part of the conversation, and yes, that's very real and that's serious, and when you talk about it, it's not, like, you don't have the talking stick right now. Like, that's not what we're talking about right now. And you could say the same vice versa when we're talking about, misogyny, you probably won't know who I'm talking about, but there's this blogger out there, and I think his name is not Tommy Lee, but Jason Lee. Yeah, his name. Just nasty color and all of that shit, and oftentimes people or women then call out his misogyny, and then he'll be like, well, but homophobia, and it's like, no, but you're literally like being really gross and really misogynistic. Same thing with Perez Hilton. I mean, Perez Hilton is just awful, just terrible person, awful. And my point is, I'm making. We can talk about our things, but let's not. I feel like sometimes we bring up other oppressors as a shield to deflect from a conversation that we're having, and I'm just like, no, but let's stay on task. Let's stay on task.
I do think that happens. And it's not just reserved to this. Again, this happens in, I think, any way. Marginalized communities sort of clash. Unfortunately, it's just and I don't think it's always from the place of conscious deflection. Maybe it might be unconscious, but there's a lot of growing on a lot of different people's parts to do in that. Is there anything else we wanted to cover in this area? I'm trying to remember.
No, not specifically, no. Let's move on and let's talk about the ace phobia. Now, this is where I'm gonna rely on you a little bit more because I did not watch, I think it was Ace Family. I did not watch this video. I quite frankly don't know what's going on with the ace phobia. So explain that to me.
So the Ace couple, were past investors in Telos as well. I think they, invested at the second highest tier because, James promised a lot of, Ace representation, and the Ace couple has, the Ace couple are big, asexuality advocates. It's who, have been, talking about a lot of stuff corrective rape and other forms of conversion therapy asexual people go through, and hate crimes against asexual people. Well, they have been working very hard to illustrate and show and spread awareness about the marginalizations of forms as I said in the video, ace phobia does exist and real actual harm, but it just doesn't make headlines. Or the fact that they are asexual is lost in the conversation. And in their video, they broke down a lot of the ways James kind of fed into put himself up as we're talking about and promoting asexuality and talking about it, but they were immediately turned off to it because they felt that he was feeding into a lot of the same misinformation and saying that ace people don't go through conversion therapy, and kind of putting asexuality and the marginalization ace people face as secondary to homophobia, the gay people face, which is its own problem. That's and they talked about a lot of people in the Discord, people in the chat would talk about it and stuff, and I'm still looking back on that whole thing. I feel did I watch that episode live? I can't remember. I don't remember where I was or what I was doing. I really hope I wasn't doing something stupid or because I don't know, hearing the ace couples side of things was really revelatory, but also the thing is apparently so James made a big deal about ace phobia that was going on that he was getting flack from for talking about asexuality, and he said, well, I might just never talk about asexuality again because these people are mad at me about it. And the thing is, the ace couple, as they said, they were very they were okay, he was talking about us because we made a very mild, polite criticism of how he went about things, and they even criticized Nick as well, and they were okay, well, Ace Nick is coming, they're Nick is coming at this from a gay ace perspective, and but more from the gay perspective, and they're seemingly they felt he didn't they didn't quite cover
they were saying that Nick is there's okay, so Nick is a gay ace person and we are non-gay ace people. Is that what they were saying?
They were saying that in some ways, but they also felt that Nick's ace revelatory was more recent, and that he was less not quite as informed. Which the ace couple,
so he was a baby
experts on this. Yes, at least that's my understanding of their read of it. And they said that the thing is I think they do know what they are talking about. Because they have been on this for a decade, I believe. They've been married for 8 years. I said eight ace. Oh my god. But yeah, so I get where they were coming from in a lot. And like, the thing is, like, looking back, like James was definitely shading them and being really crappy to them about the that like what was really mild criticism, and especially like for them it really hurt because they had invested in Telos, and like they believed it, like in some degree in James, but then that got turned around very, very quickly, and we're like, oh, that's as like what I recall from the, like they were like he kind of made a low key was Anon bashing them, and I think like that was really, really like just vile.
You know, I have a very I'm gonna say I, but I'm also gonna say we, as in the queer community, have a very fickle relationship with asexuality and ace people by proxy, because I think for so long, and still to this day, I'm not acting like it's in the past, but to this day, queer people are still attacked for our sexuality and who we are and who we want to have sex with and who we don't, And I think that for so many people, asexuality, they're either averse to it or they disregard it and disrespect it because they feel like, oh, well, you really don't have any issues because of whatever assumption they have about asexuality, you know, and I feel like people really kind of shit on it and sweep it under the rug. Even myself, I in the past used to not really get it, and I'm not saying I completely understand everything now. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but in the past, like, I was even like on the fence about like ace even being considered queer. Like, I remember my high school days, I was like, I don't know, like, I don't really see what's queer about it. Luckily I've evolved since then, and I think that it's easy to like fall into acephobia, quite frankly. It's easy to fall into acephobic tropes. Yeah.
I think it is unfortunate because again, like as the ace couple put it, like, this stuff doesn't make headlines, so we don't end up really seeing or listening like I think we should, and that is a really unfortunate thing, and like, because again, like corrective rape is a thing, like not just for queer people, but for trying to teach, like, oh, you'll like and like the thing is, like, that's just like, if people don't want to have like asexuality and aromanticism is of course a spectrum and whatnot, but it's just not something like, I'm like, if someone doesn't want to do something with their body, that is perfectly fine. I mean, leave them be. If someone just wants to explore sexuality purely through a distant, like, fictional kind of thing, like, it doesn't want to, like, physically do anything, that is perfectly fine. If someone likes having sex but has no interest in romantic bonds, like, there is absolutely, like, a lot of things that I think, and the thing is, like, I think a lot of ace people aren't trying to, like, at all say like they are more oppressed than, like, gay people or bisexual people or anything. I think they're just trying to say we are very, very overlooked. And
yeah,
I think that's
like the main form, or at least what I would think the main form of, like, ace oppression is erasure. I actually had no idea that, like, they went through conversion therapy as well, and that people, like, I had no idea that people would even be interested in making ace people have sex.
Because like I feel like, you know, the thing is, like, most queer people, like, we kind of think, like, okay, they're trying to control us for who we want to have sex with. So the idea of, like, and like, I guess, like, the thing is, like, a lot of queer people are kind of, like, put in this box of, like, thinking or kind of like told we can't have sex. So the idea that, like, you are someone being punished for not wanting to have sex at all is such a
it sounds kind of silly on face value. Yeah.
Like it's such a
Yeah.
diametric like position to our own oppression, but both oppressions are existing within the same space. Is like and comes because like and I feel like should we really be that surprised that like the cishet like folks are trying to like control everyone's bodies in a like and no matter what we do, it's the wrong thing. And like because like they do like straight people, they do want us to be having sex, they just want it to be a particular kind of sex and whatnot, and so like the idea of opting out of sex or having sex with someone like of the same gender or multiple people of the same gender or both genders to like to them is just like that's a no-no. So they have to oppress and force us to conform, or that's at least I don't know, that's my read of the situation.
Yeah, and we have so far to go with understanding ace people. For me, I think we should also acknowledge intersectionality here a bit, especially when we want to talk about like because again, I used to be of the opinion that like what is even clear about this, like what's like I don't understand. But like outside of the fact that asexuality is deviant from the puritanical Christian heteronormative values, outside because I feel like really if anything defies that then it is under the umbrella of queer. That's how I feel now. But even if that's not enough for you, so many queer people, gays, lesbians, bisexual, trans people fall under the ace spectrum too. So when you dismiss, when you ignore, when you overlook, you're still overlooking like your fellow queer people.
Yeah, and I'm like, and we don't like I've always tried to be as considerate and kind as I can to like, and you know what? I've definitely failed at points, and I wish I had been able to do better in a lot of moments, but it really like I don't know, like the thing is James wasn't willing to listen. And because like there was like a degree of dismissiveness that like the ace couple was really there was a lot of dismissiveness of that and like the thing I know we haven't gotten to the apology video yet, but when he tried to address the ace phobia in the apology and like he threw Nick under the bus. He threw Nick under the bus and kind of tried, well, I have an ace friend and I'm like, no, like you don't get to like go like because the ace couple emailed you and tried to contact you and like they like gave you their money like and it just feels very like again like H Bomber guy was right, like he threw Nick under the bus. Like to try and dodge the whole ace phobia stuff, and that was really
what really bothers me about James is that like that is just so that's very nasty work to be like, oh well, you know, because y'all are eating me up about this, I just won't talk about it again. I'll show you, I won't talk about it at all, because it's the mindset of I'm doing you a favor by even talking about asexuality. Because remember, James is the messiah to all LGBTQ people. So he's doing them a favor in his mind by even talking about asexuality. So how dare they? How dare they correct him and say that he got it wrong? So you know what? I'll show you. I got something for your ass. I won't even talk about it again. How about that? Like that's the mindset that James was coming at him with. I'm like, how gross can you be? Like, imagine you have a straight person talking about, queer things or whatever, and you correct them nicely and politely, and they just like, oh, I got it. I got something for your ass. I'll show you. I won't ever talk about LGBT, like anything ever again. Like that is such nasty work. Like I remember yesterday, Judgmental Critter posted a Ruby thing, and she was talking about how Bumblebee was a cash grab or whatever. And she made this one point where I was like, oh, this isn't a bad take, but I'm like, I feel like, because she said like something about how Blake and Yang are bisexual and it's bisexual erasure. And I'm like, yes, let's talk about that. That's true. But also, I feel like I kind of felt like she was ignoring the reality of comp het, and I was like, okay, like, but comp het is still a thing, and it was like, okay, noted, got it. It wasn't this whole thing of, oh, well, you know, I got some for you. I'll never talk about like queer baiting or LGBT. I'll never talk about that again. No, it was a very simple, like, oh, okay, I didn't. I'll take that. I'll take that under consideration. I got it.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, look, I think there is like, you can like acknowledge you stepped out of line too much and be like, okay, this is not my lane. I shouldn't have stepped outside my lane, and like, cause like and understood that, and like I could understand that, but not, but I don't know. It is really insidious to withhold discussing asexuality and like ace rep and ace, like, just by the nature of like they need exposure, they need to be in discussions, and if they're going to be able to get people, like, because like again, like, it's just the not being acknowledged is such a huge part of why they haven't been able to really make any progress in like protections and in helping people in their marginalization, and like that's something that needs to be worked on. And I don't know, just the way James just kind of used them as like asexual people as like a talking point in his video, rather like and as a discussion, rather than like, I don't know, like he could have just used this as a point to really listen and to really use it as a learning experience, but he just didn't want to hear them. And
because we're not in a community, we're not in community with him. Because we're not in community, he is the king, he is the overlord, and we are the fish, we are the subjects, we are the sheep.
Yeah,
you know,
it's God.
Yeah, so and I think, again, not to get too deep into the apology video, but he's like, people think that I have all this hate, and that I hate asexuals, and that I hate women. I don't. It's like, there's a word for that. It's not catastrophizing. It's something where you make something more extreme than what it is, so that people can say the opposite. Like, you say, oh, well, nobody, we weren't saying you hated, da 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 da. But it's like, no, it's not about that, because you know how bigotry works, you know how oppression works, it's not about intent, it's not about, malicious. It's about impact, and it's about how your words impact people. And you know that because you're gay and you talk about that. That's the whole premise of your channel, talking about how queer oppression works. So you know how that works. So don't even try to pull that, but people think I have all this hate, and I don't hate.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, you could just acknowledge, like, it would have gone a long way if he's like, I try not to think I have this bias, but I could have, and I want to work on it. Like, that would have been at least something, and I think, like, I do want to, like, say, like, it does definitely become a thing of, like I'm the tent pole, because, like, I almost, like, kind of feel like we have to be aware to not scapegoat, like, one person too much for what is a societal problem.
Yeah.
Because, like, the problem does not end at James in several different ways, not just in the misogyny, not just in the, like, these are all things we all have ingrained in us, and we all need to work on, and maybe, like, I don't know, maybe, like, a step forward would be to acknowledge we are all a part of the system, and to work on it more, like, within ourselves. But, like, the thing is, like, I feel like James could have just, like, done the bare minimum, and just really, like, taken a step and thinking, that was not my intention, but looking back at it, that was definitely, like, something I did not consider, I did not respect, and that was wrong. That would have been, but he just is going about, like, oh, I don't think, but I'm like, all these people definitely feel like have a right to feel like and view you that way. Like you could have just not been like this, you know? I just
You know, but yeah, that's unfortunate that he did that. I don't like that. I think that's weird. And also like on a business level, these people support your production company, and you would think that like when you have donors, when you have investors like that, like I'm not I mean I'm not saying like, oh, he should just do whatever because they give him money, but I am saying like you should take the fact that they invest in you financially as a sign of good faith, as a sign of they're not just coming at you to be bitches. They actually care about what they're talking about, and they just want to politely correct you. Like yeah. But
yeah, like they were like they read aloud their thread. I'm like, this is actually really like I'm like, this is what you were catastrophizing over. Like, why not just reach out to them privately? And like, I know that they said that they sent him an email. Well, just have a talk with them and just work on it. But he just didn't want to work on it. He basically just wanted to use Ace people as to farm for content. That's
yeah, yeah. Let's move on. This is another. I didn't end up watching the Todd in the Shadows video, but there was apparently a lot of misinformation on the videos. Do you want to talk about that?
The thing is, I'm not surprised. Like there was, I was watching a lot of videos, who's about this whole situation, and I was watching a video by this YouTuber I really like, where like she talks about the fact like how James and like was admired like in like talking about fat phobia and the disappointment that came with like that reveal. Well, but I just like the Todd in the Shadows like thing. I haven't been able to see it yet, but like he like from like I'm not surprised honestly, you know, like after like the H Bomber guy, like because like there was a point in the H Bomber guy video where he pointed out that James completely misinformed about the life of a lesbian, or was it like in her book, and how like he's like, oh, she didn't actually suffer any oppression, and but like all of her like in reality like she was like tried and all of her books were burned and stuff, and like so she really went through it. So he just blatantly misinformed on the oppression of this lesbian and the hardships she faced in life, if to kind of just frame it as like, oh, lesbians don't like have it as bad as gay men, and because the law is worded or whatever, like
which actively actively puts divide between gay men and lesbians, as if we need any more of that.
We do not need any more of that. We each have nuances to our oppression. That's just what I always like say. Hey, like trying to make it a lump sum game of who has it harder is just never going to work out well, because like these things don't always like measuring oppression is difficult. It is a fool's errand. It's a snake chasing its tail. Well, like it's never going to go anywhere productive. And again, like we can say in one situation, okay, this person had it worse than this person, but that situation isn't universal. That situation could change in any number of ways, and it varies. And so, just in that vein, it's just very disappointing. Just like there was just so much misinformation and nonsense and like. And like the thing is, at the end of it all, there was so much misinformation. The videos just need to stay down. They just need to stay. And the fact that James wanted to try and put them back up again was like the dumbest, most ridiculous, like. Yeah.
so long. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, it happened to all of us, like in a lot of us in various ways, and it's just I'm still kicking myself over so many, but like I don't even know where to begin, and where like it's just because there's just so much nonsense, and it just breaks like my heart thinking just about how frequent of a problem this is and has been. And but like the misinformation was just vile, and like the thing is, like, this entire idea that he would, you know, fix the videos, like, I'm like, you didn't do that properly when you had our good faith. You're certainly not going to do it now because there's no profit in it for you now. Oh, like, that was like he's made it very clear this is just about profit for him. This is just about feeding his wallet and feeding his ego, and now like no one wants to do either. Like, so I think he wants to like get permission to put his videos back up to be able to like say I have some sort of like, but like, James, your legacy is lies. He's like, you sit on a throne of lies. Like that is like, you are never going to be like, this is me talking to Jay, like, you are never going to be the face of proper source. Like, you're going to be the face of the opposite for probably ever. Because like, this is probably like, this is like spread outward like wildfire. Or like this was like kind of like, I'm like, you said, and he like, James set himself up for this. Is like, because I'm like the sheer amount of like like, what did he really think that this wasn't gonna like topple down, that other people weren't gonna catch it at some point, that someone big wasn't going to take a lookie and then like highlight all the problems, and then the whole house of cards comes down? Like, did he really, like, I just cannot understand the level of laziness and stupidity in that. I just cannot even grasp it.
It's egregious. It's egregious. Let's move on. Let's talk about Telos. Now, would you mind telling us exactly Telos? What's the backstory with that? What's going on with that?
So Telos was the promise of a queer film studio with like queer production in members, queer creatives, like that it would be like a bastion or a center for queer people to come together and have our voices heard, and it's all fucking bullshit. It took over. Look, I'm someone who can be very patient on things, but like literally it took 14 months. Like he came in with all these promises of films, like The Final Girl. He had this thing like of like After Final Girl, which like H-Bomber guy found out like he was probably ripping off from a book, and like that he read, like, and had no intent to credit the book either, and like he dropped that entire project's production idea like a while ago, and like he kept making more promises for creations and stories and whatnot, but like nothing was being made. Like nothing was actually, like, there was all these promises of like getting to like first content and first rights to streaming and whatnot, for the backers, and just none of it ever transpired. Or I don't like James would have once in a while like talk about, like, he's like, oh, we've like had progress on this, or we're doing casting for that, but like there was never any real casting announcements or anything, and there was never any real like set pickouts. Like there was only just discussion about him moving to I don't know, moving to Toronto.
Were there any conversations about scripts? Like who was writing the scripts?
I don't know. I don't know if there was even
how you
like
gonna
scripts.
Cast? How you gonna cast the movie? How you gonna film a movie without a script? That's the first thing you need to write for a movie, is a script, right? So who was writing that? Was it James? Was it Nick? Was he hiring another writer? Like, who was writing it?
I am not sure. That is my there's so many details in here that, like, looking back, there were so many red flags because like there was, again, like so little progress or like updates or like look-ins to any kind of elements of production. And I just tried to chalk it up to, like, well, their, like, movie production is difficult because I did go to film school. I have taken screenwriting classes, and I had a lot of friends in the film department. I was in the writing department. But like, so I understand that it is a difficult but like at the same time, it just really felt like nothing was being done. And now we know nothing was being done because they dropped the whole Final Girl thing, which he ripped off. And someone else, like, found this and pointed out, but James definitely ripped off the name Telos from a former marketing firm he was working for. Or like the man has no ability to be original. It's like actually laughable how much he just keeps ripping off other things and is just so uninspired and uncreative. And like he raised like I think $68,000. I'm not sure if that was in Canadian or in American dollars, but it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money.
$68,000. That.
Like maybe like the thing is, like, I know like the smaller budget movies have been made, like in short films have been made for less. Yes, but it's because like the Final Girl was like promised, I think, as a short film of some sorts, but there was like there was just no updates and no movement, and like the thing is, there was like things I should have looked back on that were red flags. It's like I remember there was like a time during one of James's streams where he would like talk about like how there was like once a publisher who came to them about publishing like written versions of their video essays. But then he like said, "Oh, we haven't heard back from them in forever. We don't know why." And now I'm thinking it's probably because someone caught the plagiarism, passed that on to the publishing thing, and then they immediately backed out because they didn't want to publish something that was actually plagiarist. Especially to the degree James had been doing that. And there was also like, I don't know, like when James once this was very weird, and like James mentioned that like when he was like fielding casting offers, like apparently like an actor tried to like offer him, he said that an actor offered him sexual favors, and he had to say, "Oh no, now I have to like blacklist you from the thing." But like I don't know, James has added. But I'm like, the thing is like, that's what, like, he said that in a stream once. He said that, I remember that very.
An actor tried to offer him sexual favors, and James said, "Now I have to blacklist you from the industry."
Or like from us or whatever, and like he's like, "Oh, I have to be moral," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like looking back, like that moment, and it like just like
yeah, I
really.
know he was lying. You're lying. He's lying.
Yeah, I'm like he was absolutely lying. Like we don't even know if he was actually casting. And like the thing is, like, just looking and like I don't know, like his attitudes towards sex, I feel like we need to talk about that briefly, are very weird. Like the fact that he had almost this like incelish kind of like viewpoint that like sex workers should be part of healthcare, and I was like, no, that's like having sex is not part of healthcare. That's like you're not going to be a more healthy individual for having, like, that's weird. That's very like so and like especially with like that, I'm like, okay, if you were actually in that position, and like he would have done that. Like I don't trust this guy. Like this guy did not have morals. We've seen that.
I personally don't disagree with what was said. I just feel like it was a clunky way to say it. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. I thought that was
just
a
feels
weird
like
way
something.
to say
It just feels like it's a story he made up to make himself like make it seem like there was something going on production, and also to build up this idea that he's some morally grandstanding good like dude when he's not, and it's just like. Yeah, it's just he's just so like he's a wart on the face of decency. Like he's just
not a wart on the face of decency.
I can't think of a better metaphor in my head. I'm sorry. I just like
yeah.
I
So you invested in Telos. I won't ask
Yes.
you how much you invested, but you did invest.
Yes.
How you feel?
And, I want my money back. I want my money back. I would like that to go to, I don't know, buying like one of my younger sibling Christmas presents, taking my mother out to a nice dinner, or buying a book, like getting a pizza for my best friend, and when she's back from her trip. Like commission an artist or donate it to like H Bomber Guy's like fund devoted towards actually giving financial compensation and credit to the people that James stole from. I want that money back. I feel that money like everyone I know like in the Telos server is like, we want our money back. We want our money back. We don't trust you. We came to you because we believed that you were actually interested in queer voices, but you're just a like selfish ass. And like, give us back our money. Like, that is like my entire thing in this conversation, is that we deserve our money back. We deserve to be able to move on with our lives. Because, like, I'm sorry, but as long as that money is not returned to us, this is going to be, like, a bit of a stink for us. It's, like, I think we just want to move on. Like, I don't care enough about James to wish him really ill. Like, I've said some things, like, I fucking hate his ass and other things, but, again, I was angry. I was putting out like event, and I think I'm entitled for getting screwed over financially and having my like my good faith taken advantage of. I'm allowed to be a little irate.
Yeah.
And now I just want the money back, and I want like no one else to have to be conned or suffer or from this leech. Like. Yeah.
I told you this when this first went down. I don't think you're gonna get your money back, and I hate to say it like that, but I feel like you spent it. I feel like, cause like in the apology video, we'll get to that. He was like, in a couple of days, I'll like make a statement to like all the Indiegogo people, and it's like, no, bitch. Do you have the money or not? Are you giving people refunds or not? Like, it's very simple. It's a yes or no question. And I feel like he needs time to come up with an explanation, or he's going to come up with something later, because he's trying to find a way to tell y'all that he doesn't have your money.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But like the thing is, at the very least, having the answer would be nice. Like, that is... And you know, like Jessie Gender suggested, she's like, well, you know, like if you don't have the money, sell your nice cameras. Like that's a start. Like, sell your nice cameras and give them like sell the nice things that you have, that you bought, that aren't necessary to you, and give that to, and use that to give to like people a degree of refunds. I was like, you know, Jessie's making a very good point here. Very good point. Like, you know, like you have that nice camera. Like multiple nice cameras, sell them. Like you're not gonna be using them anytime,
and
like
quite
in any way.
Doesn't he have a degree? Doesn't he have a college degree?
Like a business, like again, just like yeah, just don't trust business majors.
Get a job, like Whoopi Goldberg said. You go get a damn job and pay people back that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the moral thing to do. Like, but the thing is, I don't trust that. I don't trust that he's gonna give. Like, in honesty, I don't trust he's gonna give the money back. Like I think he probably spent it on something dumb and stupid and which is fraud. It would be nice if the Canadian government or someone stepped up and did something about that. But Nick I know that the thing is Telos was dissolved as a company. Like there was a filing a while ago for Telos to be dissolved, and Nick was removed as a creative right before it was dissolved. So that was just very the thing is Telos is just if he thinks that Telos is gone. Telos is gone. It was by every metric a scam, and really now it's just kind of a measure of whether or not James has the money to give it back or is going to bother giving it back. That is kind of just the question in this whole thing, or does he have some of the money, and how is that money going to make its way back to the people? In what way? But the thing is, I don't trust him, because even in that apology video, he said, I want to bring up the videos and send the ad revenue to the fund H Bomber guy set up, but we don't trust you with money. Why should we trust you with the money when you haven't given that kind of money, when you haven't given us the money back from the Telos thing? Maybe we could do that if you gave back the Telos money. We could trust you on the ad revenue stuff. But I also feel it's worth saying that H Bomber guy's editor she posted that James James in the apology thing said that he'd reached out to them, but she's he did not reach out to us at all. So it just feels like he's just trying to be performative. He's just trying to find some way to worm his way back in.
Yeah.
I also want to be clear to anyone out there concerned for me. I am not in a financially hard up situation. Okay, I am good on money. There are probably a lot of people who the money they gave was a lot more more necessary to get back. I will be fine. But I still was majorly screwed over.
I am very rich,
not
bitch.
just in the
I don't need the money. I'm good.
I would like it back. I would like it back. But I'm just saying I will survive. I'm just saying but it would be nice. It would be very, very nice to have back. I think I'm owed it back. And I would like to be able to give that money back, back to myself in some in just something nice, do something nice for me, or give it back to actual queer great, put that money to what I wanted to give it to in the first place, which was to queer people who want to better things for the community. That is what I want for the community to, for just people to have some nice things, like the marginalized to get a little something back. I want to support my community. I want to support people. That was the reason people bought into Telos, and that was the reason the Ace couple bought into Telos. So that's give the Ace couple back their money. Give everyone back the 68, 62. I don't remember the specific numbers, but 60 something grand back to people. I'm even fine having a bit shaved off because Indiegogo might take a percentage or whatever. I just want something back, or at least just answers, just so we can get closure, just so I can write James off and write the final sentence in this story and my role in it.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. I think that's more than fair. I feel really bad that y'all don't have any answers, or even like I remember you telling me in the first days of it, you were asking somebody for answers, and you kind of felt like they were kind of ghosting you a bit. And yeah, I hope you get answers soon. I hope he comes up with something.
But like James. Yeah, like I'm hoping there's gonna be something done. Like James just ghosted. Like Nick has like stated he's like, okay, everyone like if you go onto Nick's website, they have posted a whole thing about it and are like everyone should be given their refunds and like that is what should be happening. And so Nick is like actually like out there like say like being firm and like trying to like at least from everything I'm seeing to get the money back for those who were schemed by and scammed by Telos. So I'm going towards Nick with a degree of good faith here. Y'all can call me dumb and stupid for that. I'm gonna be like I am biased here because I have been his friend for a long time, and like, you know, there like I'm not saying that Nick is a saint or a perfect human being, because like again, like Nick was negligent, and it is very disappointing in a lot of ways to see that come about. But you know, like for me at least, James is like James is the only one I want James is the one running. James is the one who is trying to misdirect. And James is the villain. I don't know how else to put that. I wish I had a stronger word, but that's like the only thing that can really come to my mind. And like, sorry if I'm plagiarizing someone else who said villain of the week. Like, I'm sorry if I'm plagiarizing now. Oh, like, but seriously, just give us our money back. Let us be able to close the book on this.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Avila, or Avila,
Avila.
I believe his name is.
He just put out a great Taylor Swift video. I recommend you go watch that. But back in the day, they started off making those "Are You Gay" videos, and it would be like for Merlin or Sherlock or whatever the gay ship was, or Are They Gay? And I think when James made a video about Sherlock, I think he for clips, he went and he stole Alexander's videos and he used that for clips for his video. And this is where I have a little bit more to say, because as someone who struggles to find clips, I often get my clips from YouTube compilations. But the difference is, I think that when it's like raw footage of a scene, my talking about how much I love them, or somebody else's review. I think that's unethical to do that. I think that's someone else's hard work. I think that you should do your own edits. I definitely think that you should do your own edits.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, I'm like, you could just go to like maybe like, I don't know, message the person who made the the edits and ask, hey, can you tell me the episodes these clips are from? Like, you know, or like, or even like, I don't know, like Google like the clip, the clips online. I mean, like, because like there will be like entire like clips from TV shows. It was like from the show's website.
Like, there are other ways to get around it.
Or what?
He had the option, because when Alexander was like, hey, you're using the clips from my video, I would like you to either take it down or credit me properly. And he left him on red.
Yeah. Like the thing is, like, he like H Bomber guy showed this, but like James lied to Alexander, or like very, very clearly, like he said, oh, I got it from someone else who stole it from you in a compilation thing, and that's where I got it, and I but that was a lie. Like, that was a flat out lie. Because like H Bomber guy found a screenshot of like, oh, I'm working on the shipping video, and in the tabs you can see the Sherlock or the Merlin Are They Gay video, and that and like he just re-uploaded the whole thing with the Merlin bit removed, and that's just so I'm just like. And the thing is, like, it was so obvious, because like Alexander put a joke like getting on, like you know, like get it on, like,
and he just straight up stole it.
You reused the same. Yeah, and like we know he lied about where, like, the sort, like, he just stole it directly from the video. There was no in between, and that's just so, like, that was the point. Where I was like, okay, this is not negligence or like just sheer, like, because like prior to that, I kind of just in my mind thought, okay, this could just be a sheer level of negligence and just like on the credit and sourcing thing. But then like the whole thing with Alexander, I'm like, okay, so he's just a liar. Like, he is just deceitful. Well, like he is there is a particular level of just malice and insincerity. Like, I was just so mortified.
Yeah, and or like that's just so I don't like, you're stealing, like, there's specific edits, like, it's just it's so insidious. It's like when, like, for example, I make a lot of edits and AMVs, and I go to YouTube looking for clips. A lot of the channels I go to, my rule is if it's just like the clip on its own, I think that's fair to take. If it's just a clip on its own, I think that's fair to take. But when it's stuff that's edited, when it's like stuff like jokes, when it's stuff like memes, like, no, like, don't touch that shit. Like, I remember when I was making my what's it called? I made this edit for Lestat and Louis from the Interview with the Vampire Show, and I wanted to make an AMV. So I got some of my clips from this popular Twitter and YouTube channel, No Context Lestat, and I actually was DMing him, and I was like, hey, can you check out my AMV? Da 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 da. And he's like, oh, you know, he actually offered me some of his clips. I was like, hey, can I use your clips? And then he offered me some better clips I could download to use, and he was really nice about it. But it's like, it's not, it really doesn't cost you anything to, if you're not sure, ask. Like, reach out to people, see if they're comfortable with you using their stuff. 9 times out of 10, especially for queer people, we're gonna stick together, we're gonna help each other out. So more times than not, someone's gonna actually either let you use the clip, they'll help you out, they'll help you find where they got it so you can do your own work. You know, it's like, but you're so fucking lazy, and you just wanna fucking it's just selfish. It's just pure selfishness.
It really is. Like, there's just no other way to go about, and like, and I don't know, just like, I'm like, to so flagrantly steal from like stealing from like people who don't really have much of a platform is evil in its own way, but like, there's a particular level of stupidity in stealing from another prominent queer creator, like a whole clip, because I'm like, dude, like that's a very easy thing to check, and honestly, I'm surprised I and many others, like, we didn't check that more thoroughly prior, or catch that. And like, the thing is, like, Alexander doesn't exist in a vacuum. He's gonna go and tell other people, and other people are gonna see it and like, and be on his side in this, because it's the right thing to do. And it's like, and James himself is like being hypocritical. And again, like, I can't even grasp the stupidity, because like plagiarism is one thing from like there's a specific, but it just, what did you think you were not going to get caught on this or called out, or that people weren't gonna suss it out, and like at some point, like this, it's just, I'm just blown away by how he thought he could do that and get away with it. I just,
yeah. Now this is the final potato, the final enchilada. Let's talk about this apology video that was released last night. Okay, and I knew he was gonna delete that shit, so I downloaded it just to be safe. Thank God I downloaded it, because hours later it was taken down because he was getting ate the fuck up, as he should. I'm gonna kind of go note by note with what's going on. Again, trigger warning for self-harm. So he starts out the video with telling us about how he was in the hospital for attempting to unalive himself, and the only reason why he's alive is because his father helped him and found him, and you know. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and then Al's going to say what he has to say, and then we're going to go on to the next point, because I don't want this to be too much of a point of contention. I think that it is awful that people feel that way and they want to go do those things. I understand why maybe he would want to do that. You know, it's a lot of scrutiny. Not that it's undeserved, but it is a lot of scrutiny. It is a lot of stuff to go through. So in that respect, I'm a human. I have a heart. I get it. Like we've all been there. I've been there. I know Al's been there. You know, but I think it was wildly inappropriate to say that. And first, especially at the beginning of the video, it was just so inappropriate, because what it did for me was it put this emotional wall up where it was hard for me to critically engage with what he was saying, because I'm so busy over there having a fucking bleeding heart, because like, damn, like what the fuck. And it also paints, whether explicitly or not, it paints everybody who's holding him accountable as these mean internet bullies that were trying to get him to hurt himself. And that's not anybody's goal here. You know, that's not anybody's, at least not anybody important. That's not anybody's goal here. But you do still need to be held accountable. And I felt like it was this kind of emotional manipulation to, you know, shield him from criticism and harm. And there's this question of whether it was even true or not. And I hate to question that, but we have to question that, because you've lied about so much. You've lied about things we wouldn't even dream that you would lie about, that I have to ask.
I think, like, look, like, I don't like the idea of having to, like, I honestly came down on the like the feeling that like I can't look at him and hear this, and I hate saying this, but I can't look at him and not feel there's a strong possibility he is lying about this. And I like, look, I before anyone like comes at me and like, I have been here, okay? I have been hospitalized. I have had my own fights with depression and suicide. I had to be hospitalized like right before the year before the pandemic in 2019. Like it was it was a lot, for a lot of different reasons, and it's I don't think a lot of people like get the sheer veracity, and like there are a lot of people who are coming at this of like, well, we have to be understanding of him, but like the thing is, for me, like the empathy in this situation that should be directed in, like, first and foremost, is to the people that James victimized. James has committed massive amounts of crimes and wrongdoings towards people, and the thing is, like I am not interested in being like cruel to myself or cruel to the other people who were defrauded by James Somerton, and the thing is, like, in various ways, like, it is a bit of a cruelty for him to like bring this up. And like, when there are a lot of people who have been messaging him. I messaged him on Indiegogo, like 2 weeks ago, when this whole thing really started to break. The first day or so it started to break, asking for my money back. Have heard nothing. And like this is, and there's this like suddenly people are now all up like on his side, or shaming people for reasonable things of demanding a return of a reimbursement, and that is like, as Jesse Gender put it, emotionally manipulative. I think it is really emotionally manipulative, especially like when I like verbalized my belief, like my feeling, like he is trying to deflect or hide. Like, I had people like talking down to me about like this, like in defense of James, about the suicide stuff, and like there was even someone who said, well, I've had to work with a lot of people who do, and I'm like, well, I am one of those people. And it's not just I'm like mad, and like I'm also worried, because like the thing is, like, I am actually a suicide attempt survivor. So and I have this feeling in my chest that he is lying. So what does that say about people who aren't actually going to be, who haven't had my experience, who haven't been through that difficult time? And like, because like very often, more often than not, I am like, if it wasn't for the lying thing with Alexandra Avilo, I would feel very differently. But like the fact that he like so clearly lied just has me in this swirl of doubt and swirl of really awful emotions that I shouldn't be having to go through.
Yeah.
Okay? I just want my fucking money back. Like, I just want my fucking money back. And because now I'm like I have like had this feeling. Someone else in this Discord that was calling out James phrased it a lot better. I don't know how to, like, I would have to scroll through so much, but I will just paraphrase what they said. Like, they're like, I am worried now that people are going to either A, start throwing out like that they attempted suicide to disarm themselves from responsibility for their own bad actions more in the future, or that people are now going to not believe people when they come forward about actually having that struggle. And that is really worrisome for me as someone, because I am on medication right now. I am seeking I am attending therapy and doctors and whatnot, but not everyone has those resources. And a lot of people just, I'm worried about what this will do. Well, like, because like we already are having like a slew of like really shitty therapists, Yes, and people were there was that trend of like therapists like crapping on their patients on TikTok and stuff. I am very concerned on a lot of levels, and James, like, and the thing is, like, I do understand what it is like to and I do empathize with like being like the villain. Everyone who's coming at him is for legitimate reasons. And though I will say, like, not like sometimes there are instances where it's like, oh, they're the villain of the day, but they really didn't do anything. Like really like or anything, nothing that actually equaled the level of response. Like look at like the way like Twitter went after Lindsay Ellis is like that's the fact that, like, I do want to say quickly, the fact that James ran is not like because there are people who like say, well why run if you're not guilty, because we don't live in a system that actually judges based on whether you're guilty or not. We make a judgment based on our bias and based on evidence, and bias can be in any manner of form. Evidence can be lost or fabricated. There is various aspects to like this, and so like. And like, plus, trust me, there are plenty of people who are guilty who stick around. And I mean, look at Donald Trump. Like we have like so much like evidence of all like, but he like of all of like several crimes, like harassing women, in like stealing federal documents, like so many other things. But he just like stands in the spotlight, gets right away with it. Like it's like so. Like, whether you stay or whether you run is not an indictment of guilt or innocence.
I agree. Like, I just feel like him running was such... To me, I took that as a clear sign of guilt, because it was like, okay, you're getting rid of evidence. Like, you're getting rid of evidence. And H. Bomber Guy pointed out that would be his pattern. Somebody would mention something, a video would go down, he would lie and say, oh, I'm dealing with a copyright dispute. And then put it back up as if nothing ever happened, as if he didn't steal anything. And I think he has this pattern of doing that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he nuked his Twitter, his Discord server, and his YouTube, to me, it read clearly as a sign of he's running so he does not have to be accountable. Just so he doesn't have to be accountable to his patrons, to his people who follow him. He's running from that accountability, and he's deleting evidence. It's like I said this earlier. It's like when the cops are banging on your door for the drugs and you're flushing them down the damn toilet. You know, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he did stay in other instances where like he just like covered his tracks or dodged it slightly. But like the thing is, like, H. Bomber Guy's video was too much of an indictment to really be able to like his evidence was too thoroughly well laid out. There was no worming his way out of that by any metric, by any margin. It was a like very, very well put together condemnation, and with like totally backed up evidence and like sourcing like you know, it was irrefutable. And that's like there was no arguing. So yeah, he ran, he panicked, he did like, I don't really care about what where James goes from here. I'm not in, like, I don't have it in me. I'm sorry to anyone out there like who like, but I don't have it in me to be empathetic for someone who conned me. I just want my money back, and I'm not really in the mood to wish him ill. That's not energy I want to like put towards like it. Just like I just want my money back and to move on with my life. Because I have other things I want to do, other people I want to help out, other things I want to focus on, and like in honesty, like I would rather be playing Mortal Kombat right now, or reading a book, or talking to my sister, or like focusing on my job, or just watching YouTube, like just anything else. Like, I don't want to have to visit James Somerton, but like I feel like this was a necessary thing we had to do. And we just deserve to have our money back. We just deserve to be compensated. And James, I don't really give a shit where you go from here. I just don't. Like live 1,000 years for all I care. I just like, give me back what I'm owed. Give everyone else back what they are owed. And then fuck off. Like, that's just where I'm at.
And yeah, just to wrap this up and finish some more points about the apology video. So James talks a lot about how he talked about the misinformation, and he said, this is so hilarious. His response is, I didn't write that. He's like, guys, I promise, I didn't write any of that. And I'm like,
we know.
What? That's the point. That's the point. You didn't write it. That's the point. You stole it. That's the point. So you're trying to blame the authors that you stole from for the misinformation. What kind of shit is that? James, be serious. Be all the way serious. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was funny. Him talking about how, I lost my best friend, so da-da-da-da. And it's like, is that true though?
Like, should Nick have stayed with you? Like, given like all you did, like I don't know, like have a little like you don't deserve to have of them as a friend. If you were like, and he's like, I wasn't setting him up to throw him under the bus. Then he proceeds to throw him under the bus. It like in the whole thing, like on the ace phobia stuff. Like there was just no friendship loyalty, no anything. Like if he actually was loyal to Nick, he would have just like left him out of the conversation entirely. Or went out of his way to like admit his own role, because like James's own role is like absolutely like he's absolutely guilty. There's no question of that. Like the very least thing he could have done was to set the record straight in any way, and either tell us about Nick to Nick's innocence, or I guess being honest here, if the circumstances actually are that of his culpability, and then we can like address that. But I still think for Nick it was just negligence, and like gross negligence. But there was no no plagiarism on his part. But James, just pure petty, pathetic theft. And I just am at the point where I'm like you have no loyalty to anyone except for your own ego, and that's really sad.
And then there's the fact that he's angling for more videos he wants to make in 2024. Like, he's like, guys, I actually want to make this video, and I want to make that video, and when I come back, like, it's going to be all my original work, I promise. He's like, I swear to you.
We don't believe
there
you.
Will be no plagiarism. And it's like, that to me is the smoking gun. That to me is the smoking gun, that there is no remorse in your heart, because that should be the last thing on your mind. He spent more time talking about videos he wants to make. He spent more time talking about that than the people who he defrauded, than the people who he stole from. He didn't even mention Alexander. He didn't even mention him. So it's like,
yeah,
missed me with all of that, James. And then another thing I want to talk about. He said, I never meant to hurt everyone, and I didn't know that I was hurting as many people as I was. But that is not true, because you were told about the plagiarism, the ace phobia. You were told about all that nicely and privately. All these conversations were private. You had so many opportunities to make things right with people. You had so many opportunities to credit people when they said, hey, bitch, please credit me. And when you were given the option to either take something down or credit somebody, you chose to take it down. You would rather lose money. You'd rather lose money on your grift than to actually credit somebody. That is so crazy. That is so crazy to me that you would rather do that. I can't. I can't with him. And then the fact that he continues on talking about, oh, well, I just, I, I was just, I didn't know that how it would be so bad to just copy paste. I was lazy, but I didn't think it would be that bad. You want to be, he also says, I didn't know that people saw me as an academic. I never claimed to be an academic. Huh?
That was like a whole claim of... That was like a whole thing. He kept like, he's like, I'm so smart. I'm so like it was just...
That was your aesthetic, though. That was your cosplay. The fact that you made a production company implies to me, that would imply someone who makes a production company, someone who wants to make movies, to me, I make the assumption, and I'm not wrong for making that assumption. If you want to make movies, I'm assuming that you like to read and write. Yeah, I'm going to make that assumption. I'm going to assume that somebody who wants to make a movie can read and write. And that is someone who does read and write. And I think that I'm not a writer. Y'all know me. I'm not a writer. My videos are unscripted. I'm good at it. I'm very good at off-the-cuff, unscripted content. I don't do it often. I'm trying to get into it into the future, but that's not my thing. That's not my niche. But even me, I know that that's basic 101. You don't just take people's stuff and copy paste and just say it and don't credit. That's plagiarism 101. They teach you that in the 3rd grade. Like, that was 3rd grade for me. That was 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like, what? Like, in college, if you are caught plagiarizing, they kick you out. They throw you out. Because that's like, your integrity is gone. So, the fact that you still think that you could come back and angle to make more videos, how dare you? That is so insulting. Nobody wants that from you. Nobody. You can't even keep it together. It's like, and again, not to like question the validity of your hospitalization, but you just got out the hospital, baby. Why are you worried about future videos? That your priorities are so off. They're so off. They're not where they should be. Your priority should be, how am I going to get all this money back to the people who I took it from? Because you claim that the money was all taken in good faith and you were using it for the good of Telos. Okay, well, if that's the truth, then where the money at? You should have been working on telling us where the money was at. You should have been working on telling us where the money resides at. That's what we want to know. We don't want to know about future videos. That really irks me. That really, really pissed me off. And for you to continue to go on and on and on about how you still want to be the voice and how you still want to prove that you could do this right. That chance is gone. You fucked it up. You had so many opportunities and chances to do it right, and you didn't. And you didn't do it right. And you didn't do it right. And you also should have apologized for leaving the way you did. Leaving the way you did with no explanation, because so many people would bully other people to defend you. People who thought that they were defending you from homophobia, yeah, you made them look stupid. You made them look stupid for even like standing up for you and defending you. H. Barnhart puts out this video and is like, you and everything you built is a lie. You not only abandoned Nick, you abandoned your fans. You abandoned your subscribers. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? And then you're gonna come back and you're not even gonna have the decency to like actually give them a real like focused apology. Like, I think that y'all, that makes my stomach turn. Like, I am disgusted.
It's the reality of who he is. He's a liar. He's a thief. He's a bad person. I don't know what else to really... I can't really say much more than I have. I'm... Except, I'll say it, but I'll say, you know what, I'll say this again. I want my money back. I want my money back.
Like, I said, bitch, better have my money. But you better have my money because I get. You're on Indiegogo. Did he post anything today about where the money is going to reside at?
Nope.
No. I feel like somebody needs to have a counter. I feel like somebody needs to be marking off on a calendar every day that goes by that he does not tell y'all where your money is at.
It would be nice.
And,
like I mean, every day, like, I'm just like, well, where is it? Like, where is it?
Once it gets to a certain place, I definitely feel like, if it's possible, a bunch of y'all should get together in a lawsuit. Yeah. I think, like, if, like, 5 or 6 of y'all who spent big money, if those of y'all who spent big money on this come together in a lawsuit, I know it will be a logistical nightmare, but I think it will be worth it, because even if you don't get the money in your hand, I think you have to be held accountable for that $62,000. Yeah, for sure. Because that's unacceptable, man. That's unacceptable. And you feeling bad or you feeling sorry. Some we say in our family is love is what it does. And what that means is you can say you love somebody, you can say you love your audience, you can say you have love all you want. But if there's no action behind it, then your words are hollow, man. Your words are hollow. And you could say, well, oh, you have to give him a chance to show. No, this is the chance. The chance is give people explanation. You didn't give an actual explanation to really anything. You were vague. You said that things weren't cited. You said that things weren't put in. No, things weren't intentionally put in. And what I wanted to know, the main thing what I wanted to know was why. What made you think that copy and pasting text and walls and paragraphs text, what made you think that was okay? Be honest. Be a real bitch and be honest and talk from your heart about why you actually did the shit. That would have been better. Would it have been pretty? No. Would we have still been eating you up? No. But at least it would have been like some actual answers. And the lack of answers, that's what's getting me so fired up right now. That's what's getting me so frustrated. But I can't give you no more of my energy on it. I can't give him any more of my energy. But
he's not worth it.
That's mainly what I wanted to say. Because that just he abandoned his people, man. He built this community about the people who loved and supported him, and he left them in the lurch.
He never cared.
He failed them.
We were all just tools to feed his ego. He never really cared. Like he was just a selfish prick. And it's unfortunate, but I just wish like he hadn't torn up that faith, and I think it's going to make it become very hard for a lot of people, queer people especially, like in online spaces, like maybe
especially gay men, like there weren't a lot of gay men doing what he was doing at his level. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, it should have been me. But what I am saying is there are so many really good YouTubers, queer men, queer women, non-binary people who put in more work than him, who actually read and actually research and actually write their own shit that don't even be getting 100 views, who don't even have like 1,000 subscribers yet. And
yeah.
You took up so much space from creators, small creators like me, who actually research, actually do stuff. And for that, you are not shit.
He's just bile. He deserves nothing except for the call out. Like I don't have any look. I don't exactly have a lot of like capacity to be compassionate in the situation. Like I don't. I'm gonna be a real person here. I'm not gonna like pretend to be a better person than I am. I just
I want to move on with my life. I want closure. I do not care about to be in this like I don't care what goes on in this man's life at this point. I want to move on. I think a lot of other people want to move on too. Who like I will also say any of y'all just here for the drama, like please, I don't know, actually focus your character, because this is like an actual issue. These are actual problems. Like, and don't like run off into a different direction and try and leverage this to be weird to like certain people. Well, because like let's not take advantage of disasters. Or that's just what I'll say. Just recognize the wrongdoing that has happened and support the people who got screwed over. And that's literally all that I ask. That's I don't know what else really I can say. Like, it was a bad apology. He deleted it. Like, the coward deleted it. It's like couldn't even like keep it up. But he just like who knows if we'll ever hear a response. I just want answers.
Yeah. So in conclusion, do you have anything else to say, or was that your closing statement?
I'd say that was my closing statement. I hope everyone. I will actually say one more thing. I hope everyone else who was defrauded, who was like had their work stolen, I hope you get the credit you deserve. I hope you get your money back. I hope you get to find peace and closure, and I hope that we get to find the representation in like I hope like all the queer people. I hope we're better informed now. Oh, I hope other people, at least for the very least, take this example to show, okay, let's not be fucking plagiarists. Let's actually put some effort into sourcing. And thank you to H Bomber Guy and his team, and Jesse Gender and Princess Weeks and everyone else, and Alexander Avila, Alexander Avila. Like, big props to you. My heart goes out to you all, and thank you for all your work into actually doing good work for the queer community and just for yourselves as creators.
Yeah. I'm a pull a James and be lazy, and I'm just gonna say what he said. Yeah. I look forward to seeing you guys more in 2024. I'm also going to be pull a James Somerton and tell you the kind of content that we have coming up. I know y'all were looking forward to that TC video. We're going to re-record that and get that out to you for January. And we have more interesting, topics coming up. So keep your eyes out for Queer Coded. I know I've been keeping y'all waiting, but content is coming. We have upgraded, okay? So, anywho, y'all, this has been Maxwell Media Inc. I'm your host, Sir Max. One way the power protects you. Bye-bye.